What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are reviewing Chicken Run 2. The first question I have is who asked for a Chicken Run sequel? Literally, who wanted this? Like, who did? This movie is coming out 23 years after the original Chicken Run, and I'm just like, this movie wasn't very popular when I was a child. Like, it's a movie maybe I watched once. I found the characters scary. It's not even a classic movie. Like, I remember a lot of us were asking for sequels to like The Incredibles or Monsters Inc. or Finding Nemo because they were actually really good movies that everybody had a connection to. Chicken Run, which is this average movie with pretty good animation. I'll say the animation of the original Chicken Run holds up. But other than that, it was a pretty average, 6 out of 10 animated movie. It doesn't even have much of a reputation to go on. I don't think it has this raving fan base. And I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it either, which kind of backs my point up. So with all that said, and the fact that I didn't really like the movie as a kid, I didn't really have high expectations going into Chicken Run Dawn of the Chicken Nugget. Now, considering the movie was made 23 years after the first one, which is literally 2.5 decades later, they obviously couldn't get all of the cast back. I don't think it suffers that much. I mean, the main two characters do get recast. I think the main character that suffers from this recast is Rocky, because obviously they couldn't get Mel Gibson back. It takes away from what his character kind of was, because he was kind of this boisterous, annoying American character. Like, he just embodied all the American stereotypes in all these British chickens, and I feel like Brits and Americans are very different in that, because British people tend to be a lot more reserved and Americans tend to be a lot louder, at least stereotypically. And with his acting and with his voice change, he does kind of sound like a very typical American dad now. Like, he's just flat. There's not really much personality to him as there was before, right? In terms of the rest of the characters, I mean, they're all fine. I mean, the rats are still funny. Fowler is still funny. I mean, he should have had more scenes. Why is my King Fowler not getting more scenes? Like, he's a fucking delusional pilot bird. He should get as many scenes as he deserves. You know what I mean? Ginger's fine. Like, I didn't find her that compelling of a character in the first Chicken Run, and she's still not very interesting in the second Chicken Run. And in terms of the other characters, they're all kind of meh, except Babs. I think that's the annoying knitting chicken. That is the worst character in the movie. I will not hear otherwise. Like, she is so irritating. I don't know what it is about just that stupid chicken that makes me angry. But as the movie was going on, she was irritating me more and more. In terms of new characters, they do add two main new characters. One they added is Ginger and Rocky's daughter, and the second new character they add was this really annoying Liverpudlian Scouse chicken who really irritated me as well. The daughter is literally the biggest stereotype little bro character, and if you don't know what a little bro character is, what I call the character who is purposely stupid to get themselves into trouble. Like, if anyone watched Extraction 2 earlier this year, like when after Chris Hemsworth saves them and then the son decides to call his uncle and tell them where he is because he's a moron, that's what I call a little bro character. And this daughter, literally, if she had any common sense, she would just listen to her parents and not get captured. And the Liverpool Scouse chicken is just fucking annoying. She's just annoying. I don't know if it's the accent or the character or a bit of both, but she's definitely incredibly annoying. And the last character to talk about is the villain, Mrs. Tweedy. She is back. Obviously, they teased it in the trailer. Everyone thought she died at the end of the first Chicken Run, which would have been a crazy ending. Not to try and spoil the ending, but I think maybe this time she is actually dead. I don't know. They also give her a new husband who's just like this Indian guy who is meant to be like this genius, but he's basically just a reskin of the first one. I do like the first one a little bit more because he had a bit more relevance to the story and he was a bit of a funnier character. Let's talk about the plot of this movie. It's not the most complex plot. It's a very basic sort of heist movie because the Scouse chicken and the daughter chicken decide to get captured because they think that it's a theme park, and it turns out, oh no, it's a chicken nugget factory, and we're gonna get turned into chicken nuggets. So the main cast of characters from before have to break into like this Area 51 of chickens, which is kind of ridiculous. It reminds me of like the Over the Hedge bit where they have to try and break back into the house. And then the whole jeopardy of the movie is that they find out that the fact this is a chicken nugget making factory, basically. So about halfway through the movie, they manage to save the daughter chicken from the chicken nugget factory, and they manage to see who's running the chicken nugget factory, who is Mrs. Tweedy. So they're all like, oh, we have to leave. We saved our daughter, finally. And of course, the daughter has to be self-righteous and say, we have to save my friend, the Liverpool chicken, the most annoying character in the movie. If you ask me, they should have left her to be turned into chicken nuggets. But then obviously Ginger has a come to reality moment because in the first one she had to escape. So now she has to save all the chickens. And then they go back in because they're stupid. And then they try and save all the rest of the chickens. And that is pretty much the plot of Chicken Run 2. You can tell in this movie that they clearly took inspiration from like the Toy Story franchise, especially Toy Story 2 and 3. Like there's a whole scene of Rocky and the two rats going through a vent just like they did in Toy Story 2. it's kind of got the same sort of break-in feel as Toy Story 2 does, but obviously it's not done as well as Toy Story 2. And then the whole ending scene where they're about to fall into like the oven of the chicken nugget machine, that's clearly kind of inspired by the ending to Toy Story 3. And even some of the score kind of reminded me of Toy Story, like it gave me those Toy Story vibes. Obviously, this movie doesn't live up anywhere near close to Toy Story 2 and 3, but at least they tried. I mean, one thing I want to know is, I remember I wrote it down while I was watching, like, what is the message of this movie, especially in the first half? Like, you should listen to your parents. Is that the message of the first half of the movie? Don't run around with random Scouse chickens. I don't know, but the message kind of felt the message in the first half of the movie kind of felt convoluted. It just felt like it was happening for the sake of happening. It was incredibly predictable. It was kind of incredibly predictable. And the climax of the movie is literally identical to the climax of the first movie. I actually thought Mrs. Tweedy's head got chopped off by the axe, which would have been hilarious. But obviously, I guess it's a children's animated movie at the end of the day, and they couldn't do that. But then again, she did kind of fall into the chicken nugget machine, and again, her fate is unknown. Would it? Maybe we'll find out in Chicken Run 3. But I doubt it. Hopefully they don't make another Chicken Run movie. Overall, this is another average animated movie that no one will care about. No one will care about moving forward, just like the first one. It will go down as a solid 6 out of 10 average movie. Nice try, guys, but I'll still be eating chicken nuggets. You can't stop me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you all in the next one.